So this is the part I left you guys on last time. This is a way to combine electricity and MRU. It is the MRU Tesla Reactor. Now basically, this is how you build it. You use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 magic plating blocks, 4 MRU Tesla Reactor support. Sorry, I'll get away from that. And then a MRU Tesla Reactor core. And this piece here is actually a part of the reactor core. Oh, and guys, when you build this, let me just go to this area. It's really dangerous to be around it. So place it as far away from your base as you can, and it generates completely unbalanced MRU. That's chaotic. So stay away from it as much as possible. So that was the first way to generate MRU I was going to show you. Here is another one. Where is the chest? Ah, to use the sun. To use this, you're going to need 4 magic plating blocks, sunray absorber, and a solar prism. Now, I have found an exploit with this, guys. Now, you see here, I have 9 of these. And as you can see, all 9 have power inside them. And as you can see here, this is full because I'm pumping so much energy out of here. But let me show you how you do this. First, I have to set my render distance to 5 or higher. To show you this, you use the sun when it's at a specific position in the sky. So I'm going to do a time set 40000. No. 7. No. 1, 2, 5, and watch the magic. As you see, I am on fire. That is because this thing is so dangerous that it magnifies. This solar prism is basically a giant magnifying glass. Now, it magnifies the sun's rays to such a degree that it actually burns the ground. And it says in the book that you can actually melt metal with this magnified ray. And the only way to prevent that is to use the sunray absorbers, which absorb the rays to a degree, really. And then it all goes in there, and then all that chaotic energy goes straight into the enrichment chamber. And because I used so many here, I had to put all these ray towers down, and then all these acceptors. So yeah, it was a lot. It gives you so much energy that you don't really need anything else. But then there's a third way. If I set it to time set night, okay, over here I have lunar power using the moon well. Now this one produces 5 MRU per tick at a level of at layer 70. This one's at layer 69, that is the height in the world. And it produces 6. So I wanted you to find out what happens when you're all the way down to bedrock. Let's go find out. This one produces 42 MRU per tick. So basically, the amount of MRU you get depends on how far down it is. Now, it's not anywhere near that of the solar prism, but since that only works during a certain time of the day, and this works the entire time, the entire night, yeah, you kind of need more than just the solar prism. On to the next one. We've got energy from the sun. We've got energy from the moon. Now, how about from the cold itself? Here I have the cold distillator with cold stone. Now, this is in a 3-block radius. And there are actually tiers to how it gets its MRU. Now, a regular block of snow gives you 0.05 MRU per tick per each one. A snow block gives you 0.2 MRU per tick. Regular ice gives you 0.15. Packed ice 0.3. Cold stone 0.5, and that is the highest tier. Now, to make cold stone, you need glowstone and surround it with snow and ice. And so this is getting 24 MRU per tick because of this, which is pretty good, I must say. Now then, as you can see, I made a bigger enrichment chamber as well, guys, and it has 160,000 MRU it can hold. And you can't really even see the MRU you see. So I'm just going to put this down here, the corruption cleaner, and I'm going to put this here, and then put this in here, and it'll start cleaning this so that there's less chaotic energy in here. And then here you see it's pure 1.0, and then I have all these raid towers. You might be wondering why I have all these raid towers. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But mostly it's for the moon wells and the solar prison and all the generators I have going, connecting it to the enrichment chamber. Now, here is something else I wanted to do. The charging chamber. Basically, okay, you see this matter of eternity. I'm gonna get a new one with 0 MRU in it and throw this away. Now I have this hooked up to this, to the enrichment chamber, as you can see, as is this magmatic smeltery. We'll get to that in a minute. And I'm going to put this in here, and basically it'll just charge it. And as it charges, this is going to get brighter progressively, as you can see. As you might be able to see, that is. And you can see the item right there. Okay, so the magmatic smeltery allows you to quadruple your ores. Now this is what you need. You need 2 lava buckets and some ore. I'm putting the 2 buckets here. And that is nowhere near enough lava. Hold on guys, 1 second, I'm gonna get more lava. Okay guys, I'm back, and it took 8 buckets of lava to fill this entire thing. Now this is where you put your fuel input. This is your fuel input. And then where you put the ore? No. Sorry, there are still a few glitches here guys, but I'm sure they'll get sorted out sooner or later. Now then. Slot 3 is where you put your ore. This is where slot 3 is. So, you take your ore, put it here, and then it will start smelting it. However, it is slow. As you can see, it's starting to take this and the lava and the MRU and use it to smelt the ore. And we'll be back for this once it's done with that. Now here, it's already done charging the Matter of Eternity. There you go. It is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 million MRU it can work with. Now here we have some tools. Staff of Life. It serves as a bone meal. And it'll grow all crops in a 6-block radius around it. Around the crop you clicked. And you can instantly grow animals from their baby form to an adult form by left-clicking. Holy Mace. As it sounds, holy, right? So that means the undead have something to do with it. So I'm going to spawn in a zombie. I'm going to take this out. Nope, not supposed to be there yet. I'm going to take this zombie and take it Holy Mace. This usually does 12 damage. Yeah, it did that. But is it 12 damage against everything? Let's check. It has a Smite 6 enchantment on it. Okay, but as you can see, it is very good. It's a very good weapon. Better than a diamond sword, in fact. Now, the Biome Wand. What does this do, you may ask? Basically, you can change biomes with it. I'm not going to go into detail with this because, yeah. If you want to see what it does, just pause the video here, and then resume, because I'm not showing it. The Magical Digger. This is a multi-tool. As you can see, it's a pickaxe with earthen focus, fiery focus, plate, red soul matter, TNT, yeah. This serves, it can break anything, very efficient at it. It uses 9 MRU per block that it breaks. Now, if it has MRU and you're not sneaking, it will break all the same blocks around that broken block. So basically a 3x3. Let's see. It still works without MRU, but it's very slow with it though. Without MRU. And I think maybe it's time to check the magnetic smeltery. Yeah, here we are. Magmatic alloy. Now, why do we have so much? I mean, so little. Well, let's see. Slot 3, slot 4. Like one of the most appealed. Yes. Okay, now. In slot 5, which is right here, you put the magmatic alloys in there. And you get double the iron for each magmatic alloy. Now, I only had 16 iron ore. Yeah. Oh, and magical slag as well. And it won't operate if there's magical slag in it, I believe. I'm not sure. Now, as you can see, it gave 2 magmatic alloys for 1 iron ore. And then the magmatic alloys make 2 iron ingots. So 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. So I get a whole stack of iron ingots from just a quarter of a stack. From just 16 iron ore. Now then, the Chaos Sport. Basically, it only works if your MRU matrix is set to Chaos. Now, upon the first strike on a mob, this weapon will deal 6 damage, and every... Now, after that, we'll have 2 unblockable damage that will get added, and after that, another 2, and another 2, and another 2, over and over, and it stacks infinitely. So this would be a good weapon to have, like maybe for a boss battle, perhaps. I'm not sure. Okay, so the magical lantern. Basically, this lights the terrain around you while you hold it in your hand. And also put magical torches on the ground. So, let's set it to night. And then, yeah, it's like the dynamic lights mod is on here. Except I don't have it installed. So if I right click right here. Yeah, I got a torch here. But it doesn't really last that long, it seems. Okay then. Magnetizing staff. What this does is you can attract items towards you if you hold the right mouse button within your hand. It consumes a tiny amount of MRU for doing so. It can also attract experience orbs. Now this is good for, say, a mob farm, guys. Like if you want something to like, I don't know. If you don't have Ender IO installed, then this is a good one. Because this mod adds in a player-like block that acts as a player. It uses items. So that would be very handy if you didn't have Ender IO. Okay. Now then, magmatic staff. Okay. This one, upon right-clicking any ore, it will smelt it into the corresponding magmatic alloy. This is basically a cheap, or rather, no. This is a very expensive magmatic smeltery. A portable one, at that. And I doubt that it will work with... Yeah, you see, just one. Just one. It only gives you one magmatic alloy, while the regular magmatic smeltery gives you two. So this isn't really all that good, this staff. Okay, now the last staff, the frozen mace. Let's see, frozen mace. This one is only works if your MRU matrix is set to frost, because there's three different MRU matrices. There's frost, there's chaotic, and there's neutral. Okay, on the first strike, nothing will happen. Upon any other strikes, the enemy attacked entity will have its movement and attack speed slowed by 18%. It stacks infinitely. So yeah. Oh, and there's also this spawner collector, which lets you collect spawners. Right-click with it, and then you can have it in your inventory. What haven't I shown you guys yet? Oh yeah, my little surprise. Okay, now I'm going to take a few zombies. Zombie spawn egg. And I'm going to switch this to easy mode. And voila! This. I gave you a little sneak peek of it earlier, but now this one's going to be shocking for your mob farms, guys. This is a Tesla coil. And it is a multi-block structure. You need this exact structure on here if you want it to work. Alright? Now then, each of these MRU coil bases actually extend its range by 1. And then there's the player whitelist. If you put this in it, as you can see here, now you just right-click this on another player, and then, or well, maybe it's the player right-clicks it, and they're on the whitelist, meaning that the MRU coil won't attack them. So yeah, let's see what it does with a regular zombie. That's a quick death. It did 18 damage per hit. However, there is a price for it. Because, let's see, it uses 2000 MRU per hit. And now that we have done this, now it is time for the next area. I'm not going to show you the magical quarry, guys, or the enchanter, potion spreader, monster duplicator, or magical repairer, because that's all basically things that other mods have. And the same as the magical wings. Now, here we have a portal to Huana, but as you can see, this is a nether portal. How did it get to be like this? Simple. I made the nether portal and lighted it, and then I had to click this wind tablet, right-click this wind tablet as soon as I entered, while in survival mode. It won't work in creative mode. I've tried 100 times. Now then, the problem is, you need to get to know the name of the wind in order to make it work. I already got the name of the wind here, but how do you get the name of the wind in the first place, guys? Well, you use the wind rune multi-block structure. I put a wind rune down here, and then there's all these, which I'll explain in a minute. Now, basically, you just infuse a soul stone in here with wind. Basically, I throw it, and then something should happen. Oh wait, no. You click it here. And as you can see, something just happened. Now, but it never had anything on it. Now I'm going to do it with it saying how I am. Let's see, yeah, wind in view. And with this, you can now get wind relationship. And the greater your wind relationship, the better your chances of getting to know the wind's real name. Now, what you need to do is you need to find these wind mages, I believe they are. Yeah, wind mages. I'll just spawn one in to show you what they look like. And yeah. And here you saw they dropped an item. Borrowed wind and imprisoned wind. Now, this is where it gets... This is how you get to Huana, basically. You take the borrowed wind, you throw it to the ground, freeing the wind. You hear very pale thank you. You do this over and over and over until your wind relationship is good enough that when you start to, so that when you start to, when you have this all powered up and start right-clicking it somewhere, then it'll start giving you letters. And then you'll be able to make the nether portal into a Huana portal. And as you could see, guys, I have this radiation suit here, which helps you against radiation. Now, it's not just because of the radiating chamber that this is around. No, it's there's a much bigger purpose for it. Now, basically, let me get rid of these. put this in my inventory and these two things in here. Now, basically, Hawana is the first world where everything came from. Now, in Hawana, it's, let me see, where is it? Okay, here. It says, if you breathe it, the air itself is poison. If you breathe it for too long, you will die forever. No respawn magic can save you. In other words, if you die in Hawana from the radiation over there, then you die for good. The world is gone. You can no longer enter Hawana. Now, I don't know if your world gets deleted, or it's just that you can't, or it's just that the portal is gone. But you have to be very careful over there, guys. And just to show you how careful I'm going to be, I'm going to put on the computer guy's suit. And now this, guys, is the top of the line for this mod. So yeah, there is that. Okay guys, I'm back. I kinda crashed a couple of times, so I had to remove a few mods again. But this is mod showcase, doesn't matter, so as I was saying, wind rune structure, I used it to imbue my soulstone with wind. However, there's more to it. You can also use it to make wind crystals with diamonds in order to make wind infused tools, which are better than vanilla. There's also the Mitraline furnace, which basically is able to harness the power of the nether star to transform some items into others. Now basically, I'm not going to tell you all about all this stuff, guys, but first off, the Mitraline, the basis of this section, the Legend of the Ender Star, where the Forgotten Knowledge comes into play. Basically, in the end dimension, there is a relic called the Ender Star, and it gives off these trans-dimensional waves. What I mean by that is, the waves are all throughout all dimensions. However, when these waves reach our dimension, they are so weak that they cannot harm anything. Now, however, they still have power to them. And that's what all of these here crystals are for. They're here to harness the energy of those waves, which is basically the ESPE. ESPE, Ender Star Pulse Energy. And that's what this part of the mod is based on. So then, there are 5 crystals. There is Mitraline, Pale, Void, Demonic, and Shade Corrupted crystals. Now, Shade Corrupted, I think this is upcoming. It's not quite implemented because it's not used anywhere. While the other 4 are being used. Then, as you saw, I had raid towers going all the way over here. That's because, you guys, are any of you familiar with Applied Energistics? Because Essentialcraft 3 has something that is like that. And that is the Magical Inventory Manager. Basically, it's a bit more complicated than Applied Energistics, but yeah, And as a matter of fact, I can't even get it to work myself. So, yeah. So I'm not going to really showcase this, but just so you guys know it's out there. And this is basically the core where all the power has to go to and all the gems are. So there are 2 devices left in here. There is the Soul Pinnacle and the Demonic Pinnacle. Now then. Oh, and also a new ore. Now that you have this knowledge in your book, whenever you mine lapis, you'll now drop a piece of mithrylline. The amount dropped is affected by the fortune enchantment also, so that's good. Now then, the Soul Pentacle. Now then, the MRU rays split out by both MRU CUs and MRU guns will deal matrix damage to you when you get caught in them. Now, using the Interstar energy, you can create a device that can remove these effects. It has 4 tiers. Now, tier 1 is right here. This one removes most basic body damage. So basically, I think you just have to stand in it. Tier 2, which is right here, it uses pale crystals and blocks as well, and the Soul Pentacle has turned blue. This can also remove mind damage as well as the original body damage. Now, tier 3, which is right here, is where it turned purple because it's using Void. And it can remove most matrix damage as well as mind damage and body damage. But again, these are expensive to make. And tier 4, which uses Demonic, as you can see. And as you might have seen, this is basically the same as right here, because it eventually got, it's based on previous tiers. They're each based off previous tiers. And this is the final tier with the Demonic. And this one is the most powerful. It can completely restore your matrix, and it accumulates the ESP twice as fast as any of the others. And the Soul Pinnacle is red. It's red as blood. So that's the Soul Pinnacle. But what about the last one, the Demonic Pentacle? Basically, this one allows you to summon demons, with which you can trade with. Now, the Demonic Pentacle is right here. You can't see it. I think that's a glitch or something. But when you right-click it, demon. To get rid of it, and you can hear that creepy laugh. But to get rid of it, all you have to do is punch it. And plus, you can trade with them. And if you give them enough of what they want, they will give you Acronite, which is a metal that exists only in hell, and only demons can see and mine it. So, A-C-K-R-O. Acronite. Basically, guys, you use this to make the demonic stuff. As you can see. You know, it is also compatible with immersive engineering, because with the metal press, if you put one of these ingots in a plate mold, you'll get the plate, which is a lot less expensive than it is with anything else. And as I said, guys, the knowledge is of shade. There's nothing here. So basically, all we have left is Hawana. which is right over here. And I will be right back when I'm fully prepared to come through this. Okay, so I will be right back.